Welcome to English Language Academy, The Milkmaid and Her Pail, English Story Chapter 1, Early Morning at the Farm. Patty the milkmaid lived on a small farm, nestled in a peaceful countryside. Every morning, just as the sun began to rise, she would get up to milk the cows. Patty loved her mornings. The air smelled fresh, and the gentle sounds of animals waking up filled her with peace. This morning was no different. With her wooden milk pail in hand, she walked toward the barn, her bare feet brushing against the soft, dew-covered grass. The cows greeted her with gentle lowing as she entered. "Good morning, Bessie," Patty said to the cow she was about to milk. Bessie's warm eyes seemed to understand Patty's words. Patty set the pail beneath her and began milking with practiced hands. Soon, the pail was half full of creamy milk. As she worked, Patty's mind began to wander. She loved to dream about the future and all the possibilities life could hold for her. Today, a particularly vivid dream started forming in her mind. Chapter 2, Dreaming Big. Patty stared at the milk filling her pail and thought about what she could do with it. "If I sell this milk at the market," she mused aloud, "I'll earn enough money to buy a dozen eggs. Then I can hatch them into chicks. When the chicks grow, I'll sell them as chickens and make even more money." She smiled as her dream grew bigger. "With that money, I'll buy myself a beautiful new dress," she continued. "And when I wear it, everyone in the village will admire me. I might even catch the eye of the handsome baker's son. Who knows? We might get married." Patty's eyes sparkled as her imagination painted this bright future. Her pail was nearly full now, and she stood up to carry it back to the house. But her mind was so wrapped up in her dream that she hardly noticed where she was walking. Chapter 3, A Sudden Crash. As Patty walked, she began to imagine the grand moment when everyone in the market would notice her new dress. She tossed her head as if to mimic the proud gesture she would make. In that instant, she lost her balance, and the pail of milk tumbled to the ground. Patty gasped as the milk spilled across the dirt. Her dreams evaporated as quickly as the milk seeped into the earth. She stared at the empty pail, her heart sinking. "Oh no!" she cried. "What have I done?" She sank to her knees and tried to salvage what little milk she could, but it was useless. All her hard work and dreams for the future were gone in a single moment of carelessness. Chapter 4, Learning the Lesson. Patty returned to the barn and sat down on a hay bale. She felt defeated. Bessie, sensing her distress, nudged her gently with her nose. Patty patted the cow's head and sighed. "I suppose I learned something important today," she said softly. "I should focus on what I'm doing and not count my chickens before they hatch." As she spoke, she realized how true her words were. She had let her excitement for the future distract her from the present moment. Patty resolved to be more careful in the future and to take each step one at a time. Chapter 5, Starting Fresh. The next morning, Patty woke up with a renewed sense of determination. She grabbed her pail and headed to the barn. This time, as she milked Bessie, she stayed focused on her task. She still dreamed about the future, but she reminded herself to keep her feet firmly planted in the present. Over time, Patty's careful efforts began to pay off. She sold her milk at the market, bought eggs, and raised her chicks into healthy chickens. Eventually, she earned enough money to buy a beautiful dress. And though her dreams didn't unfold exactly as she had imagined, she found happiness in the small, steady progress she made each day. Patty never forgot the lessons she learned from her spilled pail of milk. Whenever she felt tempted to dream too far ahead, she would smile and remind herself to focus on the task at hand. The story of Patty and her milk pail became well known in the village, and people often shared it with one another as a reminder to stay grounded and mindful. And Patty? She lived a happy, and fulfilling life, one small step at a time. The end. Thanks for watching English Language Academy. Subscribe now.